Stanza 66. Uttamoyam puman mudha praninamapi vidyate tatra tattvavidah kotishayaha syaditi chet shruno. Even the adnyaha, aviveki, moodhaha, an ignorant person, in reality, paramarthataha, he is nothing but uttamaha purushaha. If this is the case, what is the distinction between an ignorant person and a jnani who has discovered oneself to be uttamaha purushaha? So answer is now being given from stanza 67 to 87. The relevant mantra from Chandogya 8.12.3 we had already seen. Take stanza 67. Satottama brahmarupam tattvavid svatmavastuni paryeti svatmabuddhaitam sarvadehasthamikshate. Saha tu uttamaha tattvavit brahmarupam tattvavit, afterwards not brahmarupa, tattvavit, continue, svatmavastuni, add yat, or tattvavit, continue with svatmavastuni, add yat, brahmarupam, continue, brahmarupam, add tadeva paryeti, tadeva paryeti, svatmabuddhya etam sarvadehastham brahmarupam or atmanam, add sarvadehastham, then add atmanam or brahmarupam, continue, ikshate, saha, with that person, tattvavit, jnani, who is now, who has discovered himself to be uttamaha, tu, who is to show the contrast with the moodhaha, aviveki, adnyaha referred to in the stanza 66. So, in contrast to the ignorant person, here is the one who is the jnani, the tattvavit, uttamaha, who has discovered himself to be uttamaha purushaha, who is the jnani, tattvavit. What does it discover? Swatmavastuni, Swatmavastuni, in his own swarupa, that is Atma Swarupa. What does he discover? Brahmavit Brahmarupam paryeti. He discovers, he directly cognizes that Atma itself as Brahmarupam, Brahma Swarupa. So yat Swatmavastuni, yat Brahmaswarupam, Brahmarupam. In Atma, whatever that is Brahmarupam is, there is nothing like Brahmarupa in Atma. The Atma which itself is nothing but Brahmaswarupa. That is what is said as Swatmavastuni yat Brahmarupam. Deva, that Brahmaswarupa only, which is its true nature. Tadeva, what does it do? Paryeti, Paryeti, thoroughly knows, directly knows, aparokshataha, he knows. So paryeti, paryeti means paritaha, from all aspects, in its toto, in its true nature, sarveshu, in all the beings, eti means janati. So paryeti means paritaha, from all aspects, from all standpoints, in totality. Sarveshu, in all the beings, eti means janati, paritaha eti paryeti. Eti means janati, knows. So paryeti. The meaning of pariyeti is explained in the stanza itself from Svatma Buddhya etam sarvadehastham atmanam brahma rupam ikshate. That is what pariyeti. So, what does he do? Svatma Buddhya, as verily one's own swarupa, etam, this atmanam with Brahma, that is it, sarvadehastham, abiding in all the beings. Abiding in all the beings is the sense that it is the swarupa of all the beings. So, pariyeti, ikshati. So he discovers it directly cognizes. So in this manner, Tattva Vijnani, in a state of Jivan Mukti, what does he discover? Everything is nothing but Brahmatma Swarupa, which discovery is not there in the case of Ajnaha Purushaha. Even person doesn't know that, he takes oneself to the body, etc., and suffers the sorrows of samsara. Whereas this jnani, who has already discovered the Atma Swarupa, knows now that same Atma is the Atma of everyone. It is the very basis of entire creation, Brahma. In and through all the beings, he is able to cognize directly the Brahma Swarupa. This is the distinction between Jnani and Ajnani. By virtue of this, for the Jnani, all the bhogas are as good as for him, and he discovers the Ananda Swarupa. Phrase by phrase, the mantra that we had seen, which was 8-12-3, Satatra Pariyeti Jakshat Kridan Ramamanaha Stridhiva Yanairva, etc., is now being explained. Indra Rajadi Deheshu Nana Khadyani Bhakshayam Balai Sakam Hasam Stridhihi Kadachit Ramate Saha Yanaitvati Jnati Dishya Sahito Modate Khalu Nakadachit Smarati Tat Vapur Janasamipagam Indra Rajadi Deheshu Nana Khadyani Bhakshayan Balaihi Sakam Hasan Kadachit Stridhi Saha Ramati Kadachit Stridhi Saha Ramati Yanaihi Kvapi Jnatibhishya Sahita Khalu Modate Nakadachit Etat Jasamipagam Vapuhu Smarati Etat Janasamipagam Vapuhu Smarati. This is how it is called Ananda. Indra Rajadi Deheshu. In the embodiments of Indra, Devendra, the king of gods, Raja, the emperors, kings on earth, in their embodiments, what does he do? Nana Khadyani Bhakshayan. Bhakshayan, eating. Nana Khadyani, varieties of delicious dishes. varieties of eatables. Bhakshayan, eating, balaihi sakam hasan, laughing with children. This much Indra Rajadi Deheshu Nana Khadyani Bhakshayan Balaihi Sakam Hasan is the explanation of the Jakshat from the Shruti. Jakshat. There we are seeing Jakshat means either Bhakshayan or Hasan. So the meaning of that is being given. So in the embodiments of Indra, kings, emperors and all that, he is enjoying the delicious dishes, sporting with the children. How many mouths already watered up now? I think this is Brahma Jnana is better. In the beginning, you have to practice with the Vairagya. Afterwards, sab kuch milega. As already seen, while taking the mantra, 11th mantra, this is only an arthavada, only a phrase. Jnani literally doesn't identify with these embodiments nor enjoys those bhoga. What is meant is the ananda of all these bhogas is to his lot without even the embodiment. And why this way it is given? Again coming Sribhi, Ramate, etc. Why it is given? Because ignorant person can only know the language of bhoga. What can be done? If a child has to be described about some great ananda, it has to be described in terms of toys and play only. Otherwise the child has no intellectual capacity to know higher anandas at higher realms. So likewise, this ajna is always steeped in bhoga. From his standpoint, what is the Paramananda discovered by the Jnani in contrast to Ajna Purusha is being described. Continuing, Stri Saha Kadachit Ramate. This is the Vyakhya of Ramamanaha Stribhirva. Stribhirva. So with the Stribhi, with the wife or husband, depending on the case it is. So Kadachit at times, Stribhi Saha Kadachit at times, Stribhi along with the wife, husband, Ramati rejoices, enjoys. Again, Yanaihi Kvati Jnatibhishya Sahitaha Salu Modate. Kvati, at places, at times. Yanaihi Jnatibhishya, in vehicles, in not ordinary vehicles. All these latest models of cars are nowhere near the heavenly chariots and heavenly aeroplanes. So here it says, Yanaihi, with the Yana. Again, this is the explanation of the second line of 69. Ramamanaha Yanairiva Jnatibhirva. So with the vehicles, Jnatibhishya, along with relatives and friends. So Sahitaha, with them. Khalu Modate, indeed he rejoices. But in and through, he never identifies with his embodiment. Leave aside the identification with the other embodiment. He has no identification with his own embodiment. That was told in the mantra as Nopajanam Smare. That is explained in the second line of 69. Nakadasit, never. What does he do? Etat jana samipagam vapuhu smare. This vapuhu smare, never does he remember this body. Never has he got any identification with the body. So what is that body? Jana samipagam. See, there in the original, upajanam was there. Upajanam shariram. What is that upajanam sharira? Here, Vidyaranya Muni explains this way. Jana samipagam means that body which comes within the range of perception of people. People from their own standpoint are seeing his body. They say, oh, he is such and such person, who is like this, etc., with such stature, with such name, with such characteristics. They may say so. But this jnani has no identification. Jnani, who is a Jivan Mukta, has no identification with that embodiment. So, upajanam is upa, near, janam, people. So, Vidyaranyamuni gives the meaning, janasamipagam, that which is sharir, that is body, which is within the purview of the perception of the people. If you remember, we have seen the meaning of upajanam as given by Bhashyakara in a different way. There he has told this body which is born of the union of the father and the mother. So Vidyaranyamuni gives another meaning which also is equally applicable based on derivation. This way, this Jivan Mukta doesn't identify with his embodiment. Because of not identifying with the embodiment, what does he gain? What is the result of non-identification with the body? Let us see now. Etad dehena tadatmya Bhrantya dukkham abhutpura Vivekena bhramepete tad dukkham nabhyavikshate. Anvaya Pura etad dehena Padatmya bhrantya dukkham abhut. Vivekena bhrame apete ad sati adya tad dukkham na vikshate. Adya tad dukkham na vikshate. Pura in the earlier, in the state of ignorance, when Atma Jnana was not there, in that state of ignorance, Pura earlier, etad dehena tadatmya bhrantya. So, etad dehena tadatmya bhrantya, because of the erroneous identification with this embodiment. Etad dehena is sviya dehena, with one's own embodiment. Tadatmya bhrantya, because of bhranti, erroneous notion on account of tadatmya, taking the embodiment as I, because of that, dukkham abhu, there was sorrow. The embodiment is the very source, very fountain of sorrows, and all these sorrows are mistaken as my characteristic feature, and therefore in the state of identification with the body on account of ignorance, there was nothing but sorrow, the samsara was there. And what is the condition now? Vivekena bhrame apete sati. By vivekena, by atmanatma viveka, oneself to be totally distinct from embodiment is discovered, and one's own identity with Atma Swarupa, Brahma Swarupa is gained. As a result of that, bhrame apete sati, when this Brahma, Bhranti, erroneous notion that the body is me, mind is me, pranas are me, so this, when that notion is dispelled, apete sati, when it is terminated, when it is removed, Adya, today means now. Tad dukkham na vikshate. That sorrow. Which sorrow? The sorrow that the person was suffering in the state of ignorance on account of identification with the body. Na vikshate is not experienced, is not seen. Na vikshate, adya, na vikshate. This can be very easily verified, and we know already identification with the body, whether it is gross or subtle, gives rise to sorrow, which we can very easily see in the waking and the dream states. Whereas in the deep sleep state, no identification with either gross or subtle body, no sorrows whatsoever. So that proves that the embodiment is the source of sorrow. You identify with that, what was called earlier as sashariratvam, suffer the sorrow. Get rid of identification by the direct knowledge of Swarupa, ashariratvam, freedom from sorrow. So that is now pointed here. Tad dukkham adya na vikshate. He doesn't experience at all. A question may arise, if he is enjoying the ananda that is eked out on account of bhoga by Indra, Raja, etc., their sorrows also must be experienced by this jnani, by this jivan mukta. You can't say half this sukha only will be taken and not the dukkha, what is called ardhajari nyaya. Half body is young, half body is old. You can't say. So if ananda or experience by Indra, etc., is gained by this person, he should also have the suffering of them, the sorrow. Indra also has got enough headache. He has got rivalry with the asuras. They are always trying to find a occasion to fight with them, have a battle with them. So like this, he has got sorrows. No. Sorrows of Indra, Raja, etc. do not touch or are not experienced by this Jivan Mukta. Do you know why? Even in the state of ignorance, this person had no identification with Indra Raja's embodiment. Do you mean to say now when he has no identification with his own embodiment, he will have identification with the embodiment of Indra, Raja, etc.? In the ignorant state of ignorance, identification with his own embodiment was there, but no identification with the other's embodiment like Indra, etc. In the state of knowledge, even that identification which was on account of a wrong notion with one's own embodiment is not there. There is a question of identifying with the Indra's embodiment, etc., to suffer the sorrows. Whereas the Ananda was also not because of identifying with the body, because that source of Ananda, which is Brahma, is discovered by him, which is figuratively described as he is enjoying the bhogas of Indra, etc. Indra Rajadi Deheshu Natadhatmyam Purapicha Ato Nataddeha Dukkha Shankapyasya tu vidyate. Before taking Indra Rajadi Deshu, add Indra Rajadhyatmana Sukhanubhave api. First add Indra Rajadhyatmana Sukhanubhave api. इंद्र राजादिदेहेषु तादात्म्यं पुरा अपि च न पुरा अपि च न अतः अस्य शंकापि अस्य अतः अस्य तद्देह दुःख शंका अपि अस्य तद्देह दुःख शंका अपि न तु विद्यते न तु विद्यते इंद्रराजादिदेहेषु तादात्म्यं पुरा अपि च न. No doubt, in the state of Jivan Mukti Avastha, in the state of knowledge, he has got the Sukhanubhava, experience of Sukha as enjoyed by Indra, Raja, etc. Indra, Raja, Dhyapana, figuratively, so in the form of Indra, Raja, though Sukhanubhava is there, Sukhanubhave api, even if this is so, but the fact is, Tadatmyam Indra Rajadi Dehesu, in the embodiment of Indra, Raja, or all these heavenly embodiments, so in this embodiment, Tadatmyam, identification, Pura api cha na. Pura api na. It was not earlier also. Earlier means when? Jnanat purvam api. Even prior to the knowledge, pura api na means ajnana dashayam, in the state of ignorance. Tadatmya, identification, their embodiment was not there. There is one cha. The cha, not simply conjunction, and it stands for adyapina. Purapina, even the state of ignorance, it was not there. Adyapina, even now, today, when knowledge is gained in the state of Jivan Mukti, even today it is not there. Then how did you say that he is enjoying? As we have seen, it is only the Brahma which is the source of Ananda he has discovered, and from that standpoint, for a lay person to understand, it is described as though he is enjoying the bhoga of Indra, Raja, etc. So, Adyapi, even today it is no. So when there is no identification whatsoever with their with their embodiment, there is the question of suffering their sorrows. That will be the case. Ataha, therefore, asya means vidushaha, for the jnani. Taddeha dukkha shanka api natu vidyate. There is no doubt also that the deha dukkha shanka, what doubt is not there? Perhaps this Jivan Mukta, this Jnani will suffer the sorrows of Indra, Raja, etc. It is just impossible. Without identification, no sorrow can ever be suffered. Even otherwise, see, in the waking state, suppose you are engrossed in some work or some reading or some thinking, and pain that was in some part of your body hitherto is not felt. You know why? To that extent you have risen above the identification of the body, in as much as your mind is so preoccupied in reading or something that there is no occasion in your mind to have the pain, akara, antakarana vritti. There is no occasion for your mind to have an antakarana vritti corresponding to the pain in a specific part of the body at that time. So therefore, no identification in the body, no sorrows whatsoever. Still one may ask, why this partiality? You say that Jnani Jivan Mukta enjoys the sukhas in the embodiment of Indra and Raja, etc. But doesn't suffer the sorrow. Is it not a pakshapata? Is it not a partiality? One aspect you take and other aspect you give up. What is the reason for that? So that reason, that answer is now being given from stanza 72 to 74. So how is it that only Ananda he enjoys, not the sorrow at all? Actually, in the Saptana Brahmana description, that Jnani attracts or gains only Ananda and not sorrow is not actually with respect to a Jnani. The description given there in the Brihadaranyaka is with respect to a Upasaka who is a Hiranyagarbha Upasaka, Prajapati Upasaka. So Prajapati Upasaka is identified with Prajapati Hiranyagarbha because the culmination of any Upasana is in identification of the Upasaka with the Upasya Daivata. Here is the Upasaka who is being Upasana of Hiranyagarbha Prajapati. At the peak of that Upasana, in the culmination, in the finale of that Upasana, he discovers the identity with Upasya Hiranyagarbha. As a result of it, for him there is only Ananda. Why? Sorrow don't touch any devas, any devatas, they don't touch, because their punya is so much that there is no occasion for any papa or sorrow coming and contaminating them. And here is the Upasaka who is identified with the devas, and therefore, so he has got Ananda only, no sorrow. If even in the case of a Upasaka, he gets only Ananda and not sorrow. And who is this Upasaka? Hiranyagarbha Upasaka. And where is Hiranyagarbha? Hiranyagarbha abiding in all the beings, because he is Samashti Sukshma Sharira Abhimani. Even though this Upasaka is as a Hiranyagarbha is identified with all the embodiment, yet no sorrows to him, only Ananda. If this is true for a Upasaka, what to speak of a person with a Jnani who has discovered his Sarvatma Bhava? Only Ananda accrues to such a person and not the sorrow. So from that standpoint, the Brihadaranyaka 1.520, a mantra from Saptana Brahmana is now being quoted. Punyameva mumapnoti na devan papamapnuya iti shrutyantaram brute sukham sarvatmadarshinaha amum punyeva apnoti. Amum punyam eva apnoti. Devan papam na apnuyat. Devan papam na apnuyat. Iti shrutyantaram sarvatmadarshinaha sukham brute. Iti shrutyantaram sarvatmadarshinaha sukham brute. Amum, to this person. Amum, to this one. Who is this person? The one who is abiding in the Prajapati status. Prajapati pade vartamanam. One who is abiding in the status of Prajapati means Hiranyagarbha, in the sense the one who has now identified with Prajapati and has discovered oneself as nothing but Hiranyagarbha, means he has got rid of the identification with not only his embodiment but with all gross embodiment, that is Virat, and discovered further the basis of Virat, the Hiranyagarbha, is his Swarupa, and in this manner, Amum, to this person, in the case of this person, we Prajapati Pade Vartamanam, is abiding in the state of Prajapati, that is here Hiranyagarbha. Prajapati word also used for Virat, but here context is of Hiranyagarbha. So this person, Punyam eva apnoti, gains only Punya. Here Punyam eva means the Punya phala. Shubham eva phalam. All result which give Ananda only. That eva is to show that he has earned Niratishaya Punya. He has earned abundant Punya, and therefore that Punya alone accrues to him, and no dukkha, which is the product of Papa. That is Punyam eva. Eva means only Punya, no sorrow, no dukkha, product of Papa. So apnoti gains. Why so? What is the reason? Devan Papam apnuya. The reason is given like this. Two devas means two presiding deities, Adhishthan Devatas. Papam na apnuya. Never does the Papa get attached or afflict them. Why so? Because of their Niratishaya Punya. Because of their Niratishaya Punya. Well, that may be the case of Devas, but this fellow is not a Deva. He is a Upasaka, yes. To begin with, he was a Upasaka. But by the intensity of asana, intensity of Upasana, his identification with the Hiranyagarbha is so intense, he has lost the identity in the body. He is as good as the Deva, and therefore the norm that applies to Devas equally applies to this Upasaka, being identified with Hiranyagarbha. So therefore Devan Papam na apnuya. In this manner, a Upasaka, Hiranyagarbha Upasaka also doesn't incur sorrow, doesn't get afflicted by sorrow, but only get the Ananda. If that is true for Upasaka, who is still at a lower level, not a Jnani. Jnani is superior to any Upasaka. What to speak of Jnani, he will certainly be not afflicted by sorrow. Iti Shrutyantaram Adar Shruti. Which Adar Shruti? Another means why Adar Shruti? Which Shruti you are discussing now, studying now? Chandogya Shruti. Whereas this is Brihadaranyaka Shruti. So, iti Shrutyantaram, another passage from different Shruti, that is Brihadaranyaka 1.520, Saptana Brahmana. What does it reveal? Sarvatma Darshinaha Sukham Bhrute. For Sarvatma Darshi, there is only Sukha, Ananda, no sorrow. As we have seen, it's a Kaimotika Nyaya. Kaimotika Nyaya means if Upasaka is above sorrows, what to speak of a Jnani? So he has no trace of sorrows at all pertaining to all these embodiments. Here also Sarvatma Bhava only in terms of Hiranyagarbha is there. Upasaka identified with Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha abides in all the living beings, and yet there is no sorrow on account of the sorrow suffered by all living beings, only Ananda. So is the case of Jnani. The same Shruti, Saptana Brahmana Shruti, also points out that sorrows belong to those specific embodiment and not to the jnani or that upasaka. Praja shochanti yat kinchit tasameva bhavedidam na sarvatma drishostiti प्राहै तदपि सा श्रुतिः यत् किंचित् प्रजाः शोचन्ति तासामेव इदं भवेत् तासामेव इदं भवेत् सर्वात्मदृशः न अस्ति इति एतदपि सा श्रुतिः प्राह सर्वात्मदृशः न अस्ति इति एतदपि सा श्रुतिः आह. As the embodiment, as a living being, everyone has got sukha, dukkha. The question arises, what about the sorrows, as the question was pertaining to, or question was in the context of Indra Rajadi. Yes, sorrows are there, but yat kinchit prajaha shochanti. Whatever sorrows these living beings, all living beings suffer, shochanti, suffer the sorrows. So, tasam eva idam bhavi. It exclusively belongs to those living beings. Means they don't belong to jnani or in the Brihadaranyaka to upasaka. Whereas they don't belong to jnani is told there in Brihadaranyaka also. Sarvatma drishaha na asti. They are not meant for sarvatma drisha, sarvat jnani, who is sarva, who has got sarvatma bhava. Na asti, they don't belong to. Iti, etadapi, even this fact, sa shrutihi praha. The same shruti has declared that only ananda they enjoy, but sorrows have nothing to do with the upasaka, and here also nothing to do with the sarvatma drishti jnani. The jnani who discovered that Atma is Swarupa and everyone is Atma Swarupa, Sarvatma Bhava is there.